Cool. So I'll leave it to prepare the live stream. In the meanwhile, let me go back to my presentation. So, like I said, I'm sorry for the messy hair and the messy beard. I know I don't like messy things in general. Like the only messy that I like is Lionel Messi because I'm a cooler. I don't know if everybody here is like knows what a cooler is. It's not someone who's more cool than the others. It's just a fan of FC Barcelona. That's what we call each other, the coolers. And maybe, I don't know, like maybe that's where the name came from. Maybe whoever named FC Barcelona fans as coolers is that they believe that Barca fans are cooler than the others. So, well, I don't know, like what do I know? But I'm not going to go into that debate because we're not here to talk about soccer. We're not here to talk about football. I'm just like wanted to make this clear. I'm 24 years young. I don't want to say that I'm 24 years old because I really believe in youthfulness and I really love this youthful spirit of mine and the fact that I always want to like be childish and go crazy and dance and so on. And that's because I had a very special childhood. I can tell you about my childhood later. But one of the things that I usually do, like I love everything that reminds me of my childhood, including cartoon and including all of the other things like going out on trips and walks and listening to old music and Space Tour and all these things. But I really love cartoon. And we're going to talk about one specific cartoon in this session that is Asterix. I don't know if you know it or not, but I'm going to ask you if to write in the chat whether you know what is Asterix and the character of the cartoon or not. If you know them, if you know it, then say in the chat. And we're also going to go through the areas of ICB and ISEC 2025. So as you see, this is going to be a triple A. Let me check if YouTube is working. Yes, awesome, it's working. So I'm going to close this and go to Asterix. So Asterix is a very popular cartoon. I don't know if you know it or not, but if you don't, I don't know why also. But it's been going on like a lot of episodes, a lot of movies, a lot of editions. But the latest one was on Netflix. So if you want to like watch this, go to Netflix and you'll find this. I really wanted to show you a sequence from that movie, but I couldn't because Netflix has a strict policy against screen sharing. So if I present now and I show you the screen on Netflix, you're not going to be able to see it. It's just going to go black. And I even tried to hack the system. I hope that nobody works with Netflix here. I tried to hack the system and I put the movie on my laptop and I started recording with my phone. But somehow magically, my phone never did this, but somehow for this movie, it stopped recording, like it got stuck. And maybe maybe this is also one of the policies of Netflix that they like, I don't know how they do it, but maybe when they know that you're taking a video of it, they just like magically stop your device. I hope somebody can explain this to me later. But yeah, anyway. For those who don't know what Asterix is about, and La Potion Magique is French for the magic potion. And we're going to focus on that for a bit. But just as a bit of context, can you see the animation, like the pictures that I'm seeing right now? Yes? Nikki, I'm going to count on you because I cannot read the chat. So you're the only one that I can see the picture. So every time that I ask a question, yeah, I'm really lucky. So help me with this or no or whatever. Okay, cool. I'll also would love to see your perfect smile every time that I like tell a joke or something to know if it's funny or not. If my jokes are not funny, you can leave the session now. No, stay till the end, please. So the context of this Asterix character is that there's this panoramics, and it's called differently in so many cultures, but he prepares the magic potion and then Asterix drinks it. And then this is, he says, this is a magic potion brewed by our druids, which gives us superhuman strength. And they can do everything. They can fight the villains, they can climb the walls, they can go crazy. So this magic potion gives them superhuman strength to do their job perfectly, which is protecting the village. And you can see here, Asterix is also, no, Asterix is always Asterix, Obelix is always Obelix, but just like the name of the other one, Panoramix, can change from Getafix, Redimix, Megagimix, Panoramix, Druid, so whatever the name in their culture is, that's like now you know what that person does, okay? So just hold that thought in mind. You're probably going crazy now and trying to understand why this like weird crazy person is choosing to tell us about this story. But no, actually, because it's an analogy, and I really love analogies. I really love taking something like a concept or a book or whatever and making it relevant to our example. In this example, Panoramix happens to be ICB, and Asterix happens to be the ECB chair. And maybe this is my own interpretation. So don't get offended. Don't feel that if you're MCECB responsible, you have to be just like look like Obelix and you have to do like this. No, just the analogy. It's an analogy. And that magic potion is actually the aqua. The aqua is the same as Latin and Spanish for water. And those like this dark, mysterious thing, creature in the back. It's the cases and problems and issues and everything bad that can happen to ISIL. So it's kind of like this image that I tried to put, and that aqua is actually something that really gives the ECB chair the power that they need. So ICB provides the magic potion for the ECB chair to do what? It's to serve and protect the village, which is also the entity. Do you get the big picture? Not saying that this is the big picture, but do you get the big picture out of this analogy? We have ICB preparing the magic potion for the chair, and the chair protecting and serving the entity. Does it make sense? Yeah, cool. Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Can you imagine the village without Asterix? And can you imagine the Asterix without Panoramix? Just like stay for a second, work your imagination, and try to think about the village going crazy with those like conquistadores, like the people that want to invade the village and the people that want to do harm to the village, and they don't have anybody to protect them. And the person who is supposed to protect them, which is Asterix, can you imagine him doing something without the magic potion, without Panoramix? And that's what I wanted to show you in the Netflix movie. It's because there is a one specific sequence of 2 minutes. I can give you the link later if you want, but it shows what happens when Asterix doesn't drink the magic potion. Like he does like this. So he's hopeless, he's powerless, he can't do anything. And then the moment where ICD, like the moment where Panoramix finished preparing the magic potion, magically he became like Hulk, and he just glug 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 glug, and then he's a superhuman, and he was actually able to protect the entity and take it from the Romans. Like not saying that the Romans are bad, but at that moment, because this is the Greek civilization, I think, or the Wales, ce sont des Gaulois, so they're from Wales, and at that moment, Rome wanted to take Wales, like invade it. That's the question. But let's take the same sentence and try to work with the same analogy, but like zoom a bit away from Asterix and Obelix and all of these things. The entity is the village, and the ECB chair is the guard or the caretaker of that entity. ICB provides the magic potion for. I just had a mini heart attack. Are you seeing my screen? Okay.
Yes.
No, it's because I'm used to seeing like the green screen, the green square that shows me that I'm sharing, but now I couldn't see it. So I went mini heart attack. Cool. So ICB provides the magic potion, which is water or aqua. And what that water does, why you need it as an entity, is to either drink to survive, because of course we cannot survive without drinking, and this like it's just like a shout out to everybody who's celebrating Ramadan and fasting, because now you, without drinking, without like having to drink for a whole day, you can understand at least what your body like goes through if you don't drink a lot of water. Maybe, yeah, it's good for your body, but you cannot go like 2 days without drinking any water, or 3 days or 4 days. So you need it to survive. And the second thing is to prevent and stop fire, because anytime any fire can happen, like God forbid. But imagine if a fire goes into your house and you don't find water to stop. And that's exactly what ICB does. That's exactly what ICB, like the water, the aqua that we're providing, tries to give to the entity or to the village, which is water that they can use to survive, and also to stop and prevent the issues and the problems that they get. And that water is just, if we want to conceptualize it, and if we want to like give it the proper synonym, it's guidance. That's what we do. That's what we give you. And that guidance can be on two different ways. It's information and it's support. So it's the information that we give you. It's the coaching tips that we give you. It's the recommendations, the insights, the tricks, the hacks, how to improve your state as an ECB, or also ECB giving the guidance. So just one thing, as an alignment, if you feel kind of disconnected from the session because you have no idea like why ECB exists or whatever, this is not only about ICB. This is also what ECB does for you and for your entity. So it's not only that ICB gives water to ECBs, but it's also that ECB gives water to the entity. That's what can help you understand a little bit the value and the service and the impact and the importance of having an ECB in your entity. And that's what the point of this session. So even if you don't, even if you don't have a current role that is directly related to ECB, even if you're just like a new member or a team leader or an EST or an MCP or whatever, you're all welcome here, of course, even if you're like streaming on YouTube. But you need to understand this. You need to understand the purpose of ECB. You need to understand the positioning of ECB and why you have this sort of entity, this sort of board in your entity, so that the moment where they come to you with information and with support, whether it is regarding the audit system or the case solving or customer centricity or whatever, everything that ECB does is for you. It's to give you water to drink and to prevent stop fire. And my guiding questions for you here are gonna be, no, before the guiding question, is ICB is an elephant? And I don't know, no, we didn't explain properly the identity that we chose for our term, but we chose this elephant because we had our research on the kind of image that we want to portray, or the image that we want to adopt. And we found this very cool, interesting stuff, information that is elephants are really crucial for their environment. It's because they dig water holes that other animals can use as a water source. So they basically just create water source to everybody around them, and they help the environment and they help the ecosystem where they are. And that's what we exactly wanted to do. We wanted to do a board that not only thinks about themselves, but also thinks about how can we give the best value to other people around us. And these other people around us are our stakeholders, whether the ECB chairs or the MCECB responsibles or the entities themselves or the MCPs. And you're gonna get to know all of the stakeholders and the connections tomorrow in a session with me and Richard. So make sure that you are there. But yeah, the guiding questions that I also wanted to brief to you to reflect upon are: can you imagine an entity without ECB? And also, can you imagine ECB without ICB? It would be hell. Like, it would be messy, the other kind of messy, not Lionel Messi. But just imagine that, and imagine how that means, what that means for your entity. And also, can you imagine ICB without ECBs? Just imagine us doing all of this and not finding anybody to do it for. Like, we don't have any ECB chairs, we don't have any ECB teams, so we wouldn't even be important and necessary and needed, and we wouldn't be relevant. And that's why ECBs make us relevant. So this is like just the play on words that we use. But this is a very big picture with all of the elements needed. This is a system that is like has a lot of parts, but all of the parts have to come together in order to build this scheme, all of this big picture, for you to understand how does every row connect to each other, how does ICB connect to ICB, and also how does ICB connect to your entity. I've been talking for too much, and I stopped seeing Nikki agreeing with me or smiling with me. So I wonder if everybody is on board. Let me just write the chat. Les Gaulois, I love it. Yeah, write your like impressions on the chat. If you agree, if you disagree, if you understand all of this, if it makes sense for you, if it doesn't, try to give me feedback on all of the things that I've been saying, because maybe some people who are not ECB chairs, they're not seeing the real big impact that ECBs are bringing to their entities. Maybe they kind of have a disconnect from this, and maybe they don't see the point of this. So yeah, thank you very much. I love the water metaphor. Yeah, we're gonna keep going with the water metaphor. Just a question. Logistically speaking, have you been seeing my screen perfectly, smoothly, and also listening to my voice clearly? Awesome. Yay. My laptop is actually being very good and kind to me. So let's hope we don't jinx it. Let's hope. But we're gonna move on with the same analogy of water. Entities are different. This is something that we cannot deny. Every entity is different, and every different entity needs two things: different quantities of water and also different compositions of water. And this also goes to humans. Maybe the kind of quantity of water that I need is not the same as Kande needs, for example, because she has to drink a lot of water. And maybe like the old people can drink the same water as babies. That's something in science. And that's the same thing for ECBs. And that is why we have different areas. And this is where I'm gonna test your knowledge. If you're an ECB chair, try not to answer and give away the answer to everybody else. But if you're not an ECB chair, can you tell me what AC means or what it stands for? AC or ANC? It's an area of ICB. So let me see you guessing this.
I am looking at all of your answers right now.
Yes, you got it right. It's audit and compliance. Let's go with the second one, which is very easy, but just let's try to test you on the things that you already saw. BD, what is BD? Good. Board development. Great. And last but certainly not the least, what is CS? Aha, this is where we get a bit controversial, because some people say customer success, some people say customer support. The right answer is customer support, but that doesn't mean that customer success is the wrong answer. It's basically, it really applies to the name, I think, because what CS is doing is to make us successful with how we deal with our customers. And that's also another thing that it's really like great, and we should all appreciate CS for, which is helping us with customer success. But let's go, because maybe you still don't know what ANC does, what BD does, what CS does. So this slide is gonna give you a bit of overview on what the things that they do and when to contact them and when to need them. Just a disclaimer: this is not the only things that these areas do, but this is just what you might use them for the most, or what you might need them for the most, or when to contact them the most. So AC is for you to answer your audit-related questions, is to give you information or feedback on the ICB audit report that you already sent, and to give you insights on your entity compliance. That's why we have the compliance there. And the role of AC is becoming more and more relevant and more important, especially with the bigger scope of ICB that we got recently. You know, all of the things that Karina was presenting in the governance system, and how we have the compliance matrix, and how ICB and ECB have to guarantee the entity operational compliance. So we have to be the people who are doing everything possible and going through a lot of reports and a lot of data. And like, I don't even know how Lilo and her team really managed to do this, but they can, and they're awesome for that. But that's what you might contact them for with other stuff. BD, when to contact them or what to need them for, is more into access to resources and information, insights and recommendations for your entity development or for your ECB development, and also network coordination and peer-to-peer learning. And we really want to build this concept of peer-to-peer learning, which is ECB chairs learning from other ECB chairs. And we tried with different initiatives to build this connection. And VICO is one of the examples where this is really something that we want you to do. It's not only about ECB chairs. Peer-to-peer learning is also about any person who has any relationship or not with the ECB network, and for them to learn how to learn from each other, And yeah, so you can contact us if you need any information regarding your ECB's development. If you're, for example, if you're an MCP and you really love your ECB, but you also want to take an external overview of your ECB, you can you can send us an email, and we can help you by like having a consultancy meeting with you, explaining the state of the entity, the ICB survey answers that your ECB did. But of course, it's always better to keep like a close relationship between the MC and ECB and everybody with ECB. But that's for BD. CS, customer support or customer success, as you wanted to name it, is for exchange cases requiring interpretation or decision. So whenever there's an issue or a problem that really needs like someone that it doesn't have a direct answer in APIP. And that's what something like to really align with you is whenever you have a case or an issue or a problem with your EPs or your partners or your customers, the first thing you do, even easier for you and more efficient for you, is to check the APIP, because everything is there. When you don't find your answer in APIP, or you find an article in APIP that you don't understand or that you don't know how to apply to that case, then you can go to CS and they can be really happy to help you out. Another thing that they do is the clarification of APIP, customer management, just like I was saying now, and of course the process requests for status change. The only status that we can change on EXPA are the approvals and realizations, to have like break realization or break approval, or a realization extension, like experience extension, or to request an early finish. Those are the statuses that you can request to change by CS. But of course, if you're a member or if you're an exchanger, you can just go directly to ICB. You have to go through your ECB first, and that's also better for you and easier for you. And your ECB will do the job of coordinating between you and ICB. So everything is cool right now? It's all clear? Let me see in the chat. Let me see if you have any questions, or if you have any things that you don't understand about any kind of area. Awesome, all clear, super clear. Thank you so much. Now, because I told you that we're gonna stay with the same analogy of water and aqua, I'm gonna show you my own interpretation of how the ACBDCS apply to the analogy of water. AC would be the area that would improve the quality of water and to inspect the proper and sustainable use of water. Water is a really existential resource for us all, everybody. And it's really sad now that we're starting to talk, it's been a time that we started to talk about day zero. Day zero is the day where your village or your town is gonna run out of water, is gonna run out of potable water. And we're seeing this reality become more and more eminent, more and more close. so you can understand really in your own lives the importance of how to make your use of water sustainable. Well, in ICD, AC helps you to do that. And how, of course, it's by helping you build sustainable processes. Because the audit that they're doing, it's not just to, I don't know, it's just like not for their own pleasure, because it's not a big pleasure to them. Like, I don't know, I don't imagine that Nikki or Mimo or Eriko or whatever, or whoever from the AC team would be like, hey, excited, I have 100 ICD audit reports to review. Yes, this is what I've been dreaming about. No, of course, they're happy to do their job, but it's not that they're doing it for their own pleasure. They're doing it for you. They're doing it for your entity. They're doing it for you to improve the use of your operations and to make sure that your operations are proper and sustainable. And that way they improve the quality of water. BD would be to distribute water to everyone and to educate people on how to use the water effectively. So AC is more into inspection, it's more into auditing, it's more into investigating the certain proofs and documents that you have to submit. BD would be more into educating people and communicating with people and informing them and onboarding them and really taking really good care of how they understand, how well they understand their role, how how proper and efficient their knowledge is, and to distribute this water to everyone. And CS would be to facilitate access to water and, of course, to fight and prevent fires. How to facilitate access to water is all of the initiatives that they're doing now. They're making their main focus is how to make the case reporting easier, how to make it easier for an ECB chair to go to report a ticket or to ask us for consultancy, and they're trying to automate all of the processes, like most of the processes, and Chelo is doing a really good job on this. But they're also trying to fight and prevent the fires that can happen in your entity. So this is a very full, busy slide. There's a lot of text. So this is the slide. If you understand this slide, no matter what your role is, whether you're MC or ECB or exchange or any position, if you understand this role, this slide, I would be glad to say that the objectives of this session will achieved. We're still gonna go through another section, but let me know in the chat, or if I'm gonna give the chance for someone, like one person or two, to just open their mic and give me, I don't know, something that maybe they don't agree with, something that they really found poignant and relevant in this analogy, or anything. Can I get someone who wants to speak? This is for you guys. If you don't want to speak, then you don't want to speak. You're gonna waste your chance in front of 100 people and all of the people that are gonna watch the stream to represent yourself and represent your entity. So I'm gonna go now to another slide. And think about this. It's a really big honor for you to speak and share and open your mic in such a global conference. So I will ask you later. Let's see the bigger picture. It's more bigger than this. It's much bigger than this. It's beyond just our term. It's beyond just ICD. It's beyond just ICD and what the things we do are. It's more into ISIC in 2025. And I know you had a session with this with Lau. With this, I don't know if Lau is still here with us, but Lau did a really good analogy not analogy, but a really good explanation of how ISIC 2025 and ICD are connected together, and also ECD is connected together. And I want to test that. I want to test how well did you retain this information and this narrative that Lau shared with you. So I'm gonna ask someone from this. I think it's gonna be Siri launching the poll. Are you able to do it, or I can do it? Oh yeah. Awesome.
I did.
Thank you so much, Siri. Awesome. So now you have a poll in front of you. Just be honest, huh? Be very honest. If you're completely disconnected, I think I'm gonna be appreciative and thankful for your honesty, because that's the point of this session, is to take you from whichever state you are, whether you're disconnected or connected, and we're gonna explain this to you. So I'm gonna give you just like 10 seconds to finish. Until now, there's half of the people answering. It's 60% of people answering. And now we get 65%, 64%. Cool. Can you all see the result of the poll? Yes, Nikki? Cool. Let me try to... Yeah. So we can see that someone was very honest, and they said that they feel very disconnected, and really thank you for that. One person said that they're disconnected, but they don't know why. Two people don't know what ISIC 2025 is, and that's completely fine. That maybe these two people didn't join earlier, and that's completely fine. Some people say connected, but I don't know how. And 35 people, like 50%, exactly 50% of people say that they're completely connected and they understand why. So I'm going to address myself to the other 50%, those who said that they're disconnected or they don't know how, to like give them the chance to see this the way I see and we see it, and also maybe to confirm or validate the impression that the other 50% has. So I'm going to end the polling. I hope. Yeah, awesome. And I'm going to go to explain. So ISIC 2025 has all of these elements. It's the three statements, and then there's the logo, and then there's the culture, which is on the present shape, the future, lead the change. We're going to go one by one, and we're going to see how exactly ECB, and I'm going to focus on ECB here, because this session is not about us, it's about the main audience of this session, which is the ECB chairs and the ECB responsible as the people that are the spotlight of this conference. And everybody here is there to see and understand what, like, all of the ins and outs and implications and complications of ECB role. Everybody is welcome. So for building a long-lasting ISIC, this is the easiest one because we already talked about the concept of sustainability, but ECB guarantees compliant and customer-centric entities that make up a viable and sustainable organization. As simple as that, as easy as that, that's what ECB does. By auditing and by reporting and by coordinating with ICB, by trying to give you interpretations and consultancies on APIP, what we're basically doing, like what ECB is basically doing, is making the organization more viable and sustainable. Empowering youth leaders, how? It's because ECB really developed for the people that are working on ECB, like the ECB chairs and the ECB teams. And by the way, special shout out to all the ECB teams here, like the ECB members and the ECB managers. We're really happy to see you here. We also would love to see you on the rest of the sessions. And thank you for being here. But ECB develops a lot of skills: management, negotiation, critical thinking, problem solving, planning, all of these, but also leadership. That's what ECB generates. It's a leadership factory. Through all of the situations you go. And I was very lucky to be ECB chair last year. And I was able to see the impact of the ECB chair position left on me. VICO just unmuted themselves. So if you really want to say something about this, I would love to hear your voice. If you muted yourself by mistake, I will ask you to mute yourself. Or I can mute you. This is I have so much power, people. I can mute everybody. I can open your cameras. I can put you on spotlight. I don't know what else. I can remove you. I can put you in waiting rooms. This is awesome. Cool. And developing purposeful partnerships. This was a bit challenging for me to put the analogy for, but wait, mute? How can I mute? Can someone mute our lovely Adiko? It can be Celine or Kanvi. Cool. Developing purposeful partnerships. ECB trains. What is this noise? I have a noise here. Sorry. ECB trains around coordinating and communicating with stakeholders and connections and how to build effective relationships with them, which really helps you to develop purposeful partnerships in the future. So this is what somehow how ACB connects to the role, like to the statement of developing purposeful partnerships. Is everything clear in this slide? Maybe do you have another way to interpret how ECB connects with any of these statements?
May I ask a question?
You can
Hi,
just
may I
raise
ask
your
a
hand
question?
and I'll give you the word. Anybody? Ah, nice. Momina, Junaid. Wait, I really wanna respect all the names and try to pronounce them like correctly. So, is it Momina?
It's Momina Junaid.
Momina? Momina Junaid.
Yes.
Awesome. Welcome with us. Thank you for taking the brave step to speak up. So,
Thank you for giving me the floor. My question may sound stupid, but I'm trying to understand everything here. I'm from Pakistan. I was the audit director last year, and I'm still having a little bit of trouble understanding who the stakeholders of an ECB are collectively. So you're talking about developing purposeful partnerships and communicating with stakeholders. Who are those stakeholders beyond just the LCs that you are dealing with as an ECB chair or as ECB directors, beyond the host LCs and the sending entities? Who are the stakeholders that you are dealing with?
I couldn't help myself from smiling at your question. It's not a stupid question at all, but I really thank you for the question. I'm not going to answer you now. Why? Because tomorrow, day 2, there is a session that is called ECB Connections, and it's going to be a full hour, like 1 full hour, just to present this, just to talk about the stakeholders and connections. And it's going to be awesome. So, of course, it's going to be awesome because it's going to be with me and also with Richard. The reason it's going to be awesome is because it's with Richard, not with me. But yeah, thank you very much, Momina, Junaid, for your question. So just stick. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
I will try my best. Things are a little hectic on my end, but I look forward to attending as many sessions as I can.
You're making me cry. No, try, even if you can't, like really can't access all of the other sessions. Maybe what helps you is to just join this session, which is about ECB stakeholders and connections, and also try your best to do to the other ones. Okay?
I will definitely. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your sharing, for your question. Because I'm a bit tight on time, I'm gonna go through the next slide, and then whenever somebody at the end of the session, if you have enough time, I will open the floor again for somebody to share. Okay? Nikki, logistically, I'm good. My voice is clear. Cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Tell me. Somebody said yes. Thank you very much for saying that. People are getting more comfortable. This is what we want. I hope that by day 2, by day 3, every session, somebody, like the moment where the FASI asks you to share, you can all share. But it's okay, we can take it step by step. ECB, now to talk about the culture, own the present. ECB owns the present by solving the ongoing issues and supporting the entity's demands. That's what they do on a basic day-to-day level operations by owning the present. It shapes the future by optimizing the operations and the infrastructures. So everything that the ECB does, it's not only thinking about today, but also thinking about tomorrow. So some ECBs would go like a really long way restructure the reporting system, or to make the reporting more intelligent, make data analysis more smart. All of these processes, if your ECB is not doing it, you can text them and give them your suggestions. You can give them your ideas. I really want you to have this spirit of approaching your ECB, because they're very approachable, even if you don't need them. You remember the last slide? I told you when to contact them, but that's only limited, but no, how do they say it? No, includes, but is not limited to. Lilo always loves this sentence. Includes, but not limited to. The things that you can contact them for. You can just tell them hi. Raulito was start telling us about ECB, and I really wanted to appreciate your efforts for everything that you've been doing, because now I understand your purpose. Now I understand your reality and your impact. So please do this and get back to me with the answer that they gave you. Okay, this is a challenge that I didn't even think about doing. I just got the idea now. But yeah, we can do that. Go to your ECB, ask them, like, give them an appreciation message, and then screenshot the answer and show it to me so that I can, but it has to be from your heart, huh? It doesn't not do it just for the sake of the challenge. Do it from your heart. Okay, so ECB also leads the change by constantly improving its services and value to the entity. And that's how we go from the present, which is today, to tomorrow, which is the future. And that's exactly how ECB contributes to ISEC 2025. The big review. So yeah, that's how we connect to the statements, that's how we connect to the culture. And also, that's another way. There's another way that we connect to ISEC 2025, which is the goals, the metrics. Because of course, you saw that I don't know if you saw this in Lau's slides, but there is a metric for each statement. But the one I wanted to focus on is ISEC MOS, the measure of success of ISEC. This is our bottom line. This is our eventual result that we need to have, which is the number of leadership experiences. And you might, we can go all night in the debate of quantity versus quality. But the way I see it, it's complementary. They both go hand in hand, because the only way to have more experiences is to have quality experiences. That's the only way. We cannot have a bigger number of experiences over a long time doing leadership experiences that are really without any standards, that are not being taken proof of, that are not being optimized to the APIP, that don't respect the guidelines. We cannot have more of those leadership experiences, because it's going to backfire. Your customers are going to start complaining, your reputation is going to start declining, and your leadership experience will become less and less relevant. And that's when we come into the picture. Because ECB, by we, I mean the ECB network, the ECB teams and directors and chairs and ECB responsibles and everyone. But also you as an exchanger or as a new member or MCP or LCP, that's how you can help your ECB. It's to believe in them and to believe that everything they're doing is to help you reach your goals more. Because I know I've been MC before, and I know that for an MCP or for an MCPP, or even for a new member, for an LCP, all they need to, not all, but their all-consuming obsession is how to get to that number at the end. Some people have it, some people don't, but I think there's a motive behind everybody in a leadership position to go behind that goal. And that's exactly why you need to focus on your ECB, and you need to improve your relationship with them, and you need to take care of their experience, and you need to check in on them from time to time. It's because if they disappear from your entity, then you will just not reach your goals, and your marketing will deteriorate, your brand, your finances, your members will have a shittier experience. Sorry for my French, but that's what it is, really. So that's it. This is the picture, the big picture that we saw earlier. ICB providing the magic potion for the ECB chair to serve and protect the entity. that magic potion is the water, which is also the aqua that ICB gives, and also the water that ECB gives to drink or to prevent and stop fire. That's by guidance, and that's by information and support. And because we really want to support you in this, and because VICO is all about support, and like all of the things that we want to show to you are all for you. This is my moment to leave you with the next session. But just like before I go to the next session alignment, can I get Lilo and Chilo ready? And also, I'm gonna make Candy the host so that she can prepare the rooms, because now we're gonna have a division. So Candy, are you already the host now? Can you start creating the rooms? Can you hear me?
I was muted, guys.
Cool. So I made you host. Just start creating the room. Before that, I'm just gonna give you like one not call to action, but it's like an advertisement. It's a paid promotion. If you really like this big picture, here's some more pics that you might enjoy. So I just left my Instagram account because this is really important for me. No, look, I'm not those kind of people that want to be influencers and being all the time on the screen and advertising for stuff. No, I don't want to be that, but I want to be a good influencer. I want to be able to share my opinions on pressing issues on society, on share wisdom and awareness, and share beautiful memories with people. So I really have a good purpose here. Like I really have a noble purpose, and that's why I need more followers. So I'm not desperate, but you can copy, scan the name tag if you know how, or you can just take a screenshot of this and then do it later, or you can go now to Instagram. Meanwhile, Candy is preparing the session, the rooms, and you can click follow, and I will follow you back. So another argument for you to follow me. If you follow me, I follow you. You follow me, I follow you. So I have more followers, and you have more followers as well. So it's a win-win situation. Even if you're not convinced with my other argument, if you want to have one more follower, follow me. Cool. So this is just that Karina doesn't fire me after this. This is in my personal name, okay? So I finished the session. That's why I put thank you. I finished the session. Now I'm Ra'at, not ICB team leader. And I want to do this because I have the chance. Why not? But yeah, I hope Karina is fine with this. And what's going to happen is that we're going to have two sessions now. One session is called Leading a Virtual Team, and you need to stay here. Another session is called Behaving Inside a Virtual Team, and you need to get a room. Just get a room. No, but seriously, if you're an ECB chair or an MC ECB responsible, then we advise you to stay here because it's about how to lead your virtual team. And anybody else who wants to still stay in this session, like they have teams to lead, or they just want to learn more about leadership in a virtual team, they can stay here. All the other people, so the ECB teams, the ECB directors, the ECB members, the middle managers, the new members, all of the other people can go to the room that Candy is gonna share whenever she's ready. Candy, how much time?
Okay, guys. This man speaks. He doesn't stop talking. So, as Raulito said, we're having like two sessions happening right now. Leading a virtual team is gonna happen here. So ECB chairs, specifically them, they stay here in the room. And ECB members, you can go to the breakout room. Like you have the button down there, you go yourself to the breakout room, because it's a lot of people and we're gonna take too long to assign all of you, so you can directly go and you're gonna find Cello and sitting there. I'm sorry, Cello, I promise you this is a beautiful nickname. It's a cute nickname, but it's mine just. Yes. So are we good? Is it clear? I don't know if Nikki's doing faces to me or not.
I'm just reading the chat that they can't find the
I cannot find the button.
At the bottom. The bottom at the bottom.
Let me try. Maybe, yeah, now it shows.
Now you can go.
Yeah. Cool. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna leave it to the other FASIs. See you in 1 hour from now in another session. Bye bye.
Okay, so I guess that everyone that is staying here is because of they had, thank you for spotlighting me, Cande, of they have